Our group was asked to take a look at how news literacy can be rolled out in diverse communities as well as internationally. And we first, as far as the challenge question, decided that we needed to rewrite the challenge question. We did not care for the verb that was chosen for us, which was, how can news literacy be adapted for diverse and global communities? So we changed it to developed for diverse and global communities. And to begin, we believed that in those various communities, both in the United States and globally, we needed to do some level of basic assessment. Now, in some cases, that may well be already done, in which cases we would tap into that. And the three items that we really wanted to focus on, you see up behind me. One is we needed attention to basic skills and standards that could be understood to be globally global common denominators that, in other words, whether you're in Bhutan or Peru or working in elsewhere in Latin America or in Europe, these are all regions that members of our group were working in, that these would be standards and values and skills that people in your region would not only be able to relate to, but could aspire to. Second, we wanted to have people be alert to, we didn't want people to get caught up in semantic problems, that in some cases news literacy was appropriate, other cases people were referencing media literacy, or even in some cases information literacy. So we wanted to be holistic in our consideration, understanding that what we see as important here, really the focus on news and journalism, was what we did want people to pay attention to. Third, we wanted attention to different audiences, not just language differences, religion, ethnicities, race, class, and so on, with the understanding that both among regions, but also within regions, that there were distinctions in how people could access information, what kinds of media they use to access information, and so on. Peter? We created a proposal, and I can hand out. We created a $1 million proposal prize that plays off of those three elements. The first was $300,000, $50,000 to bring Knight Fellows from Latin America and various schools from the region who have been partner universities, which includes Texas Austin, but from Argentina, from Chile, from Mexico, to conduct an assessment of what lesson plans would be needed in the region and for Latino communities within the United States. That would be a $50,000 use of that funds. $150,000 to bring the Knight Fellows and the partner institutions to Salzburg, create a new Salzburg Academy track that would be both in English and Spanish, and then $50,000 to edit that. We would use the bulk of our money, $575,000, to roll out those lesson plans that were created in the region. And we have 5 regions, effectively, Texas and the border. And we understand that Texas Austin, who already is a partner university, and Texas State, Frederico is from, would do the work in both Spanish and English in Texas and the border region. And that would be $100,000 for Mexico, Mexico City, Argentina, Chile, and Peru. We would try to identify local partners, not only people to literally come to the conference, but partners who could take some ownership of this, which could be in addition to individuals, teachers, could be school systems, could be ministries of education, could be municipal leaders, for example, in Buenos Aires. We're already working with some. But also we thought we would like to work with media implementers. ICFJ, Luis, as many of you know, was in our group and believed that ICFJ could be of use. Internews, of course, as well. Do a lot of training. We would like to bring journalists into this, potentially for use in the classroom, but also in terms of making sure our training is appropriate. Finally, the $125,000 that's left, we would like to do media outreach. We would like to do not only schools, but media. Salzburg is already working with the World Association of Newspapers and Newspapers in Education to translate our lesson plans into newspaper inserts. We have not done that in Latin America. We're talking with them about Africa and Asia, but we would like to do this in Latin America and create, for those of you who are from Washington, D.C. area, you may be familiar with the Kids Post section, but it's sort of a 2-page, 4-page insert. They do it quite a bit, and so we would translate our lesson plans into inserts, sort of tabloid inserts that newspapers could have. Ursula mentioned that in Peru and elsewhere in Latin America, that sort of news consumption, media, newspaper reading is very much a family activity, and so we really thought that this would be a way for families to support what was happening in the schools. That's our $1 million. There we go.